Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome. Somebody broke Rumble again. Been scrambling to try and get that back up. Hopefully. I don't know if we're live over there. If anybody's on Rumble or on both, can you give me a heads up if we're live over on the Rumbles? Because it seems to be being kind of a bitch right now. It says one viewer waiting. Well, now I have a green check mark. Okay. Nope, we're up. We're good. There we go. Perfect. All right. So, minor technical difficulties. How is everybody this lovely Thursday evening? So let's get right into it. Say hello, and we'll get right into the news. There's a little bit of it. This channel does not give specific legal, medical, or general life advice that should be relied upon. Always consult professionals as your circumstances may be specific to your situation. And I mean, honestly, would anybody, like, you'd be doing yourself a disservice if you relied on any information that I was going to provide, because 90% chance that I was fucking with you. But we know this. So, what's up, Alex? Bobby? Hot dog? I know, right? What's up, Josh? AP, hello, sir. Hey, Bad Dazza. Oh, we're going to get to Trump and just start. Yeah, let's not go too far on the other one. Let's not go too far, guys. Let's not go too far. Hey, what's up, Neo? So I wanna kind of start with something that I don't have any information for. There's not a lot of data, but we know it's happening. There seems to be an increase in cyber attacks and cyber hacks, and we know this, in part, because if you guys knew, this whole channel was gone the other day for like 3 hours. I had to work with the Googles and all that bullshit, and yeah, it was pretty intense. So the cyber attacks and cyber crap is really picking up. I had to do a brand account and blah blah blah. Anyways, whatever. So just protect yourself online. Protect yourself. Use a VPN. That kind of stuff. And really kind of keep your eyes open. Because that was utter hell. It was utter hell, and I thought it was gone. It took me forever to get it back. Hey, HT and AO. So yeah. Just, keep your digital safety as much as you'd keep your physical safety. With that being said, we're starting to see more cyber attack from foreign actors and stuff like that. Again, there's not a whole lot of detail. There's not a whole lot of information to be relied upon about it, but we know it is happening, and I've seen it up close and personal. So, with that being said, let's get to the man, the myth, the legend himself, Donald John Trump. I absolutely do, and I highly suggest it. It's kind of annoying. I have an authenticator that goes to my phone, and I have to, click yes, it's me, and then pick the number and blah blah blah. So I suggest it absolutely. I can confirm hackings more and more. Russia and China asked me how last year hospital was hacked, and we're still dealing with the ramifications. Yeah. And specifically this last week, they said it's been ridiculously bad. Again, couldn't find an actual article, couldn't find any detailed information on it, but I know for sure it's happening. So, yeah, just a heads up. With that being said, always wear protection when you're talking to the mightiest of all the meats. That's good practice to live by. What, you just make them all the same thing? Copy paste? Hey, Daisy girl. So just in, we're gonna go through the time to check the live cyber war map. It was pretty bad last time I checked it. But we're gonna get into the good part to start. A lot of Trump news right now. Just in, the Colorado Secretary of State announces Trump is back on the Colorado ballot. So in a seemingly random move, I don't know if they knew they were going to get overturned. I don't know what the circumstance is. This is all pretty recent information, but Trump is back on the ballot in Colorado. So, that's just another data point. And Trump is starting to get some wins. For example, here's another one breaking. The Michigan Supreme Court has rejected the attempt to remove Trump from the 2024 ballot. So we're seeing even more of a split of places trying to remove Donald Trump and not being successful. So there's yet another one. And then we get to the bad. So we get to the other side of it. So Maine's, and this one just happened within the last hour, Maine's top election official has removed former President Donald Trump from the state's 2024 ballot in a surprise decision based on the 14th Amendment's insurrectionist ban. So that's what they've all been trying to accomplish. And then Rowler's put up a really nice kind of poll, or kind of way to look at it. But here are the states where efforts are being made to remove Trump from the 2024 ballot. Successful states so far: Maine pending appeal to U.S. Supreme Court, Colorado pending appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court. And I believe even though they've retained Trump on the ballot, I think they're still proceeding with the court case. If I'm incorrect on that, please somebody let me know. But that's how I read it, that they're still proceeding with the appeal to the Supreme Court, but they've placed him back on the ballot as of now. It's a quick turnaround. I know, especially for Colorado, I think it's January 4th or 5th that they have to be back, that they have to be on the ballot. So it could just be a preeminent, we'll wait and see what the Supreme Court says. It could be that they're encountering serious resistance, which I think they probably should, if we're being honest. States that have failed to remove him from the ballot: Arizona, New Hampshire, Minnesota, Michigan, Rhode Island, and Florida. So those are a pretty good deal of states. I mean, those are impressive amount of states that we probably should pay a little bit of attention to, because I think it's really important that we get to vote for who the hell we want to vote for. It shouldn't be up to the states or all these powerful political people. I think it should be up to the people. They're backpedaling as fast as they can because the country crack apart if they go through with it. Yeah, but I think that's always been their plan. Yeah, it does. It does. But I think that's always been their plan, is kind of break things apart and make things messy. So I think this is according to plan, if you ask me. So I'm thinking that there's got to be some other reason. Could it be something as simple as the GOP started removing Joe Biden from ballots, or pushing to remove Joe Biden from ballots? So, yeah. Yep. I think so too. We got to start playing their game, even if it's a dirty game. Like, it just has to happen. Exactly. Divided we fall. Pretty simple. So, Pooty Poot's on our side. So this is breaking. Textbooks from Russian students claim the Democratic voter fraud was the reason why former President Donald Trump lost the 2020 presidential election. I'm still working on my Russian, but I can only read like 2 words out of that entire sentence, so I'm going to have to take their word for it. But apparently, Russian textbooks claim that Democratic voter fraud was the reason Trump lost. And that's consistent with another report that I read. And it's holy shit, they're on pace with the Russians. We are Russians. So no, all joking aside, I think that it's pretty clear now that the Democrats cheated in 2020 and they're going to continue to cheat in 2024. And if we don't get in the mud and play, then we're going to lose, and that's the honest opinion. I knew we heard Clown World when I started agreeing with Booty Boot. Yeah, exactly. When he seems to be the sane and reasonable one, you really have to question yourself, don't you? You really have to question what the hell's going on, because it doesn't seem to make a ton of sense. So, but everybody's favorite political candidate for the White House, Nikki Haley. She had some good clips out this week, some pretty funny. So we'll watch the first one here.
Please, what was the cause of the United States Civil War?
Well, don't come with an easy question or anything. I mean, I think the cause of the Civil War was basically how government was going to run, the freedoms and what people could and couldn't do. What do you think the cause of the Civil War was? I'm sorry?
I'm not running for president. I want to see your view on the cause of the Civil War.
I mean, I think it always comes down to the role of government. We need to have capitalism. We need to have economic freedom. We need to make sure that we do all things so that individuals have the liberties so that they can have freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom to do or be anything they want to be without government getting in the way.
Thank you. And in the year 2023, it's astonishing to me, and you answer that question without mentioning the word slavery.
What do you want me to say about slavery? Next question.
She's terrible. She's a terrible person, and she's starting to get what she deserves a little bit. So, the next clip of Nikki Haley, she's getting trolled by a child, and good on that kid.
I wanted to ask you, so Chris Christie thinks that you're a flip-flopper on the Donald Trump issue. And honestly, I agree with him. And you're basically the new John Kerry on the... If you remember John Kerry from that. I wanted to ask you...
She's like, I wish I was the new Clinton so I could eliminate that kid. But that obviously didn't happen. So... fuck it, it's worth watching again. That was funny.
So Chris Christie thinks that you're a flip-flopper on the Donald Trump issue. And honestly, I agree with him. And you're basically the new John Kerry on the... If you remember John Kerry from 2004.
Yeah, well, it was states' rights. And then slavery was just what people gravitate towards. But yeah, states' rights versus federal rights. The federal government was getting too big and too tyrannical. Sounds like today, doesn't it? Sounds like today, if I was being honest. Yeah, it was a states' rights issue. The government infringes on your rights, and they have to be pushed back and kind of reset. It's kind of what that Second Amendment's for. But anyways, moving on. It's funny when they start turning on themselves. So, breaking report, president of the Illinois NAACP, Teresa Haley, suspended for comments about illegals during a Zoom meeting. Quote, "This is not me, YouTube. This is this lady. And she's a POC, so she can say it. These immigrants have come over here. They're raping people. They are savages as well." That's from her mouth, not mine. Speaking on immigrants.
But these immigrants have come over here. They've been raping people. They've been breaking into homes. They're like savages as well. They don't speak the language and they look at us like we were crazy. But these immigrants have come over here. They've been raping people. They've been breaking into homes. They're like savages as well. They don't speak the language and they look at us like we were crazy.
I mean, based, slightly based, all the way based, 85% based on a true story. I don't know. Oh shit! I'm not even paying attention to Rebel. I apologize. Neo, Tigger, and Daisy Girl, and Seeing Red. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. That's what I'm saying. I know. What do you mean, you people? Exactly. They're eating their own. So, a little bit more eating their own. Here's Eric Adams. And he's talking about it too. So, we'll hear his take on it.
We're seeing the erosion of the quality of life that we've improved on in such a short period of time of this administration. And we have been impacted. For many months, we were able to keep the visualization of this crisis from hitting our streets, but we have reached a breaking point. We're no longer able to do that because of the volume in numbers. Just last week, we had 3,900 people that arrived here. We are averaging anywhere from 2,500 to close to 4,000 a week. And if you do the math, you see that's 8,000 every 2 weeks, potentially 16,000 a month that we must feed, clothe, house, educate children, and all the services that you would give a normal adult. And we're seeing that play out on our streets of New York. And that is what the breaking point looks like, what we are experiencing right now.
So, yet another African-American individual that has a contrary message to what we've heard for so long. We had to listen to these people stand here and say all these things and defend this ridiculousness, and now it's coming to a head, and we're sitting here like, oh, well, what the hell is going on? Like, of course this is going on. Of course this is happening. We've been telling you this was happening, and nobody seems to give a shit. Nobody seems to care. Until it's in your backyard. And it's kind of nuts. It's kind of insane, if you ask me. And I mean, who didn't see this coming? Who didn't know this was coming? We all tried to warn everybody. Nobody wants to listen. They just call us racist and call us terrible people. Well, it's here now. Congratulations. Congratulations. I don't know. It's frustrating. It's frustrating to see a country fall so damn far in such a short period of time because of an administration and because of woke. Here's another one. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson warns that every city service is on the verge of collapse thanks to these illegals. So we have yet another African-American leader that's sounding the alarm about illegal immigration.
In Chicago or anywhere else in the country, the public good is already stressed. Whether it's our transportation system, our healthcare system, our education system, all of these systems are already stretched to meet the demands of families who have been here. Over the past 7 months, it's been an incredible strain on every aspect of city services, and in Chicago or anywhere else in the.
So a strain on city services. Again, did we not tell you guys that this was going to happen? Is this not the message that we've told everybody and their brother for so long? I mean, at what point do you have to take some responsibility for your actions? Because we definitely have been warning people forever. You cannot sustain this much illegal immigration from people that are living off the system and be profitable and be somebody that's moving forward. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating, and I feel like we're way too far gone at this point, to even get close to anything. So we're never going to get a solution at this point. This thing has gone so far out of hand and got so ridiculous that there's nothing that we can do at this point. I mean, there are tens of thousands coming through, just turning themselves in every single day, because there's no penalty for them doing it. So of course they're going to do it. They get their card, they get their trip to anywhere, they get put up in nice hotels. Why wouldn't they? So, but yeah, so that's kind of the immigration focus. It can be. My sanctuary city. Yeah, but ultimately we're the ones to suffer. So we can sit here and we can make fun of these assholes and everything like that, but it's our country that's falling. It is. I mean, if you're ever down on your luck, just, again, not advice, cross the border into Mexico, which you'll probably get arrested or killed for, and then try and get back to the United States. You get a nice card, you get all kinds of stuff. Doesn't matter what country you're from. Hell, there's a bunch of gotaways or people that have been arrested that are from the Middle East, from Asia, from all over. It doesn't seem to matter at this point. If you've eaten recently, I do apologize. We got to give him, as long as he's still running for president, I'm going to give him at least 1 minute on my show, just so we can celebrate when this fat ass either drops because of a heart attack or drops out of the race. One of the two. That was mean. That was inappropriate. That was bad, chat.
She said when she was running for governor in 2010, and she was asked this very same question about what caused the Civil War. She said, well, it was a battle between change and tradition. Change and tradition. I guess that tradition was enslaving Africans to work for nothing and to have no freedom.
Hey, Ma.
Tradition. I'm sure Nikki will see this, so I want to talk directly to her. Okay? The Civil War was not a choice between change and tradition. It was a choice between right and wrong, and that's it. And we got to stand on the side of right.
Nazi fag.
She said when she...
Let's listen to President Trump's total not response, but response.
The latest morning consult poll has us far ahead. We're at 59%, and the others are at like 12. One is at 12. I think that's the sanctimonious, but he's rapidly being caught by Ramaswamy. Who's good? No, Christie's, he's eating right now. He can't be bothered. Sir, please do not call him a fat pig. That's very disrespectful. Don't call him. See, I'm trying to be nice. Don't call him a fat pig. You can't do it. You can't do that. So now, because you're not allowed to do that, and therefore we're not going to do it, okay? We want to be very civil, right?
Yeah, fuck you, NBC. So NBC, of course, made fun of him for it, or ripped Trump apart for making fun of Chris Christie. But he is kind of a fat pig. Exactly. What about every other group that was enslaved and blah, blah, blah? All right. So now we're going from one asshole to another one. This is pretty much the female Nikki Haley. Lindsey Graham talking about Iran.
I've been saying for 6 months now, hit Iran. They have oil fields out in the open. They have the Revolutionary Guard headquarters you can see from space. Blow it off the map. I've been saying,
blow it off the map. Let's just go invade a fucking sovereign country because he needs his stock to go up in the. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make fun of Southern people's voice. I'm just trying to make fun of Lindsey Graham. But yeah, I mean, he's calling for an open war of a sovereign nation, open takeover of a sovereign nation, and he's just as bad as Nikki Haley. Like, if either one of them even get remotely close to the lever of power, we are fucked. Because they're going to start a war with whoever will fight back. Whoever will fight back. And that's going to be kind of the downfall of the American experiment. If it hasn't already. Speaking of the downfall of the American experiment. I'm sorry, Josh. Oh, good. Good. I know, it's great. Yeah, let's just stay out of shit. Like, and he's so arrogant about it. Again, sorry, we're going to play it one more time because he's such an ass about it.
for 6 months now, hit Iran. They have oil fields out in the open. They have the Revolutionary Guard headquarters you can see from space. Blow it off the map. I've been saying for 6 months.
Do you think he's on the Epstein list? I'm just asking. I'm not trying to impugn anybody's character. I'm not trying to say anything at all. I'm just asking a question to my lovely, lovely chat. Do you think he's on the Epstein list that is releasing in 3 days? 4 days? Like, would you be surprised when the list comes out and I start reading names to see Mr. Ladybug on the list? Yeah, I think he's going to be there too. But I'd never besmirch his good name and good public service. So, so from one to another asshole, Biden's on vacation again. He's in the Caribbean, staying at. There's some conspiracy to the house. It's one of the. He was gifted or is borrowing the house from an individual that some major broadcaster or owns some kind of distribution network for movies and television. We'll be reading names, just black boxes. I hope not. I hope not. I hope we get some real true names and some real information. But so he's apparently this television mogul that owns something. I don't know who it is, but apparently he got their house for the week for vacation. So probably, allegedly. So again, not much there. He didn't trip. I'm trying to see if it says, but I hate scrolling on Twitter. Oh, gross. That's why I hate scrolling on Twitter. But yeah, he's in the Caribbean, enjoying a holiday vacation with his family and friends. Taking a look at the flight board. Not a whole lot going on. There was a bunch more on there yesterday, and this morning there was a bunch of sentries up, a bunch of 762s, that kind of thing. But it's pretty light. It's common at this point to be kind of light, kind of around this time frame of the year. There was a very interesting sighting of there were a couple of Russian planes in Israel. It's definitely an Israeli plane. That's probably oh nope, that's a Global Hawk. So that's a U.S. drone off the coast of Israel. But there was some Russian transports landing in the Israel area. So, I know, right? Hey, Linda, how are you? Why did you make me look at that? You get gross. All right. So moving on. I think I've been fair waiting for this to develop. I think I've been very neutral with this whole situation. I think I've been fair to both sides. This is really starting to piss me off. This is really starting to piss me off. And I guess we'll go to the one that pisses me off the most last. But that's right. We're going to go through some more of these Palestinian protesters. LAPD in riot gear as pro-Palestine protesters have blocked the entrance of LAX, armed with rocks and throwing cones and construction equipment. And this is not the original time that happened about a week ago. This just happened yesterday at LAX. Currently, numerous law enforcement and other agencies are currently on scene in riot gear, issuing a tactical alert after pro-Palestine protesters armed with rocks, cones, construction equipment blocked the entrance to LAX, causing major traffic congestion in Los Angeles, California. Police have arrested at least over a dozen protesters who will be charged with riot-related offenses. Officers have advised that the group is running around, vandalizing different objects, throwing items at law enforcement. Let them get away with it. They're just going to keep going. I mean, it's just Aloha Snack Bar. All right, so that's the first one. That's the least piss me off one. All right. Now we're gonna go in order of pissing me off more and more as we go along. Same topic, different pissed off. NYPD calls for level 3 mobilization amidst numerous fights between pro-Palestine protesters and police at a large protest in Manhattan, New York. Currently, the New York Police Department has requested a level 3 mobilization for a large protest taking place in Midtown Manhattan, where pro-Palestine protesters are reportedly engaging in fights with police. Numerous altercations have broke out between the two, resulting in injuries reported to multiple officers. The extent of the injuries is currently unknown. Police have also reportedly made multiple arrests. This was on Christmas Day, and some of the chants and some of the things were Christmas is canceled. There were some racial remarks made at Christians, which I'm not one, but I celebrate Christmas and don't fuck with it because my family likes it. I could do without it, but same difference. Yeah, kind of. So, I did. I started with that. Did you finish the other? You probably did. Because it seems like about time. Yeah, we started that with the ballot fuckery that's going on. So they were saying Christmas was canceled, that this was intended to be one of those things where it really impacted the police and on Christmas and made a statement about Christmas. So
Look what you did, Brad! Look what you did! Look what you did! Look what they did! Look what you guys did! Look what you did! Look what you did! Look what you did! Look what you did! Look at what you guys did! Look at him!
So, that was Christmas Day. This is tonight, boys and girls. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And this one pisses me off the most out of any of them because of the tone-deaf bullshit nature of it. That's probably completely intentional just to piss people off. Just in, pro-Palestinian protesters have shut down the entrance to the World Trade Center in New York City. Hundreds of protesters decided to use the World Trade Center, the same location where the 9/11 attacks took place, to stage their protest. This incident comes just one day after pro-Palestine protesters blocked off the entrance to the JFK International Airport in New York. That was yesterday. That was in between. We saw him do it in at LAX. It was basically the same damn thing. I didn't add another clip. So it was Christmas, and then it was JFK International Airport, and today it is the location of the September 11th attacks on the United States, the World Trade Center. So I'm at fuck these people. I'm still not pro-Israel or pro any side, but I'm definitely at fuck Palestinian protesters. And to be fair, I think that is probably a case just like Black Lives Matter, where it got out of hand and you have people that are terrible, that are trying to do terrible things using the name of a group. But I don't know that for sure. I just know that at some point, somebody needs to stand up and say, that's enough of this shit. You're not helping. You're not spreading your message. You're not getting me on board. All you're doing is pissing me off, and now I don't even want to listen to your side anymore. So, but yeah. Yeah, that's where I'm at too. No, we really don't want to know who you are. We just want you to shut the fuck up. I think I was very down the middle. I was very respectful. I was willing to listen to the message. I was willing to understand or try to understand what was going on and what your grievance was. Now I'm at go fuck yourself. Oh, wait. Now I'm at
go fuck yourself.
That's where I'm at now. Like, this is kind of bullshit. Like, leave my shit alone. Stop doing this to my country. And we've had enough now. We've had enough. Hey, Mystic. Why watermelons? I have no idea. Zero idea. That's exactly the point. If they feel that strongly about it, why don't they go over and help them fight? Exactly. It's kind of cowardly to be here in the United States that doesn't have a side and shouldn't, frankly, shouldn't be involved in either side. So far, you've infiltrated the Capitol. You've shut down major cities. You've went on sites that are very, very much so near and dear to our hearts, and you just make a mockery of everything. I'm so tired of it. You're killing your message with us. Like, I don't care. I was sympathetic at the start. I was not pro anything. You guys know I've carried it from the beginning, covered it from the beginning. I've never been pro Israel or Palestine, but this is starting to really get on my nerves. This is a bridge too far. This is too much. And you're killing your message. Whatever little message you did or little hope that you had of convincing me that there was a reasonable issue to be concerned with or think about here, that's all gone. That's all 100% gone at this point. And I just don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to deal with it. So, sorry, I'm looking at Twitter now because running out of rubles. Thanks, running out of rubles. Apparently, there's something trending that Russia is collapsing. Another thing that I don't buy because they've been saying that forever. So, sorry, I was just looking and then. Anyways, so we'll get back to the show at hand. So, moving right into something you guys were concerned with. I never bought this one. Hey, Beers, where you at, dude? Oh, there you are. What's going on, bud? We put a hole in the watermelon and it has its uses. Well, that's true, but there were women. They could have penises. I'm sorry for being a bigot. I'm sorry. Again. So this one always felt weird for me. Like I appreciate you guys letting me know, and I was watching it and something didn't sit right, and there was a good reason for that. So we'll get into this one. So this was yesterday. Reports of shots fired at or inside the Osprey Mills Mall, causing a mass panic in Nashville, Tennessee. Currently, numerous law enforcement and other agencies are on the scene at Opry Mills Mall in Nashville. Following reports of shots being fired, swarms of police can be seen running for their lives out of the mall, or swarms of people, excuse me. The mall is currently on lockdown following unconfirmed shots. As authorities search for a possible active shooter, police are urging everyone to avoid the area. So this is kind of the scene, and I think there was a little bit of panic that kind of got out of hand. So all right, so update, there's a significant police presence at Opry Mills shopping mall in Nashville in response to a potential shooter. People can be seen evacuating the mall. As dispatch initially reported, officers responded to a call of shots fired. However, officers at the scene stated they could not find anything suspicious. A fight occurred at the movie theater, but no injuries reported, and no evidence of a shooting or gunshots was found. So this is allegedly the tape, the video that caused the mass panic at Opry Mills shopping mall that caused people to run in panic as they thought shots were fired. So this one really seems like a big misunderstanding, and you'll see once we so it just some people getting into a fight, throwing shit, like, and typically being a general nuisance. Not the Haagen-Dazs. So that seemed to be what it was. I don't know how that turned into shots fired. Maybe somebody, I mean, you never know in situations like that. People take things that are one thing and turn it into something else. So it could have been an overreaction, but it certainly did not appear that any shots were fired, and no one seemed to be injured. So moving on to another literal dumpster fire, breaking, numerous people injured in a subway fire. And I know it's not breaking because it was like 3 days ago. Shut up, digger. Numerous emergency crews are on the scene in Brooklyn, New York, after a subway fire left 9 people injured. Firefighters say that multiple passengers were trapped on a train with doors that wouldn't open and a smoke filling the carriages. Later, firefighters were able to successfully evacuate the passengers. Officials attribute the fire under the train was to an e-bike that was thrown on the tracks. 3 patients were transported to nearby hospitals in stable condition. And it was confirmed that there was an e-bike that shorted out and essentially caught fire on the tracks, and their confined area and smoke and blah, blah, blah. And again, people freak out. Police presence. It's certainly, I don't know why you would suggest that a lithium-ion battery would be a dangerous substance that would cause a whole subway system to catch on fire. But it probably was. Because technology is not there yet. Moving on. This story was fucking wild. Los Angeles police are in a dangerous pursuit with a white stolen delivery panel truck in LA, California. Numerous law enforcement officials are engaged in a hazardous pursuit of a stolen white delivery panel truck that was carjacked. The truck collided with other vehicles, striking police cars while passing through multiple red lights and heading into oncoming traffic. The situation involves dangerous and reckless driving, and the details are still unfolding. Now, if you ever watch any of the, like, Fox...
He's back out onto South Street right now. And it just,
listen for a second.
it's hard to imagine what he's thinking here, because it's not like you're going to, made contact with that car right there, tore its bumper off. That driver's pulling over. I'm glad they're okay, but now this driver appears to be following,
Southern California,
perhaps to try, now flipping a U-turn now on Alondra.
I didn't get to catch it live, but I would have. So basically what I was saying was the Fox 11, the online Fox bullshit. They cover a lot of these, and it didn't seem to be any different than any other one. And I don't know why it gained so much national attention. But so there's an update. The white stolen delivery panel truck is now smoking and has stopped. And Drogi and multiple units are on the scene. The pursuit started in Orange County. So as we progress, here's the next.
From all indications, it looks like the CHP, and then we've got quite a huge pursuit package now. As you see all those police cars there, there's got to be at least a dozen there. And as they close in, you can see that truck starting to smoke even more. But he has given no indication he's going to give up or he's trying to bail out or anything like that. From all indications, it looks like.
So that's the next. And so again, there's like multiple updates to this. So the stolen white delivery panel truck crashed in the side of a curb before backing up in front of multiple police officers, then colliding with someone's car. Both tires are now flattened, and the driver is surrounded by law enforcement who are deploying non-lethal weapons like tear gas and pepper balls into the truck. The suspect is likely having a 2023, also known as a mental breakdown.
Up on the curb, up on the island. Just passed through, just crashed into, I believe that was a light. We're going to get around the trees here. Backing up now. This is not good here. I'm gonna take a medium shot here because once he starts backing up into those officers, that changes the game quite a bit here. He's going to back up, playing a little bit of cat and mouse here.
Oh, that would
going
be cool.
forward.
Yeah, throw me the link, brother.
Then backing up.
Oh, throw it in my Discord.
And I don't know. Over that curb into a parked vehicle. This guy is nuts. Completely nuts.
So, last update. Truck driver suspect is in custody after a wild and dangerous police pursuit. Good job, Popo boys.
Which they did put on the team. My buddies are talking to us.
Dave, you're absolutely right, though. The canine did its job. No shots fired. The guy is, walking. We don't know how injured he is, but you're right about that.
Yeah. So this one, thank God it ended right. So God, just so worried about all those citizens around. They're stuck Christmas shopping, day before Christmas Eve, and we have to put up with this here in Los Angeles.
Dave, we want to thank you for your time tonight as this pursuit has now come to
it's in my Discord.
I'm sure this
also in my Discord.
Medical attention.
I told you
They did put on the team. My buddies.
Shit, we're going again. Also in my Discord, right underneath the live police chases. That's not what I wanted to do. So remember that video of the Finland people that were protesting because they only wanted one wife or whatever? That bullshit. I found the video again on accident looking through Twitter, so it's there. Can't show it on YouTube, but it's in general chat. So, and thanks for sharing that, buddy. So that was that whole dealio. Moving on. Multiple people have been shot and injured inside the Paddock Mall, with the suspect still at large in Ocala, Florida. And this is 2 days before Christmas. So towards the end of last week, or towards the, you know what I mean. Numerous law enforcement and other emergency personnel are on the scene at Paddock Mall in Ocala, Florida, responding to an active shooter situation. Reports indicate that multiple people have been shot and injured inside the mall. The mall is currently on lockdown and people have been evacuated. At this time, it is unknown how many people have been injured. The suspect is still at large as he fled the scene. Situation is still developing. Oh, I guess there's videos. So we'll go to both videos. I think this is just a general police presence video.
Please go up. Please go up. Come on, baby.
Hitting themselves, shoes, everything. Holy crap. This is
One guy's
nuts.
out here and got shot.
They already got a guy out here that's getting ready to get on a stretcher, being shot, everything. This is crazy.
So, and then we have an update. One person is dead with at least one injured in the Paddock Mall shooting in Ocala. Shooting suspect is still at large, and this is just another police presence video, so we're not gonna take a bunch of time on that. He is still at large last time I checked. So one injured, one dead. And it sucks that it's 2 days before Christmas. It's a really shitty time. My in-laws were out the mall that morning and were trapped in a computer store on the other side of town when it happened. Damn. Sorry to hear that, Jason. Hopefully they're all right, buddy. And then AP, this shit's on purpose. All the effort to get rid of the 2A since WEF knows they can't go to toe with the private citizenry. Yeah. Oh yeah. I think a lot of it is intentional or encouraged. Because that's the only way those assholes are going to win, is if they start disarming the good people. And it's unfortunate because they seem to be at least semi-effective at what they're doing, and that kind of terrifies me. Yeah. So, this event and the next event happened right as I finished the show last week, the news roundup show. Thought about coming back, but said, fuck it, we'll carry it next week. Here's our shits on fire for the week. Propane truck crashes into a railroad bridge, triggering a massive explosion in Glenville, New York. Numerous emergency crews are on the scene in Glenville, New York, after an 18-wheel tractor trailer carrying propane crashed into a railroad bridge, triggering a massive explosion. The explosion was visible for miles, with flames reaching as high as 200 feet in the air. Several surrounding homes were evacuated. The 60-year-old driver from Texas had severe burns to his hands and face and was taken to the hospital. Investigators reported that the driver did not see a sign indicating low height. So just another week of something just massively catching fire and exploding. That's one hell of a fire.
They say it's a train. That's part of it.
It doesn't look like it. It looks like those are the tracks, but it
Train,
doesn't.
right? Is that a train or what is that? A truck.
So a truck underneath the bridge. So yeah, apparently there was no train, but yeah, it's every week. It's something with the railroad or something catching fire or something exploding. It's almost like our infrastructure is crumbling and failing because of an influx of illegal immigrants. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Why are they getting rid of all the railroad tracks? Seems awfully suspicious. So it's even more than that. So the United States government is doing a huge, massive, very extensive railroad survey of tracks. So they know which specific tracks are, I guess, vulnerable or the most advantageous to hit. So I'm not saying anything, but it seems even a little bit more nefarious than that, if I'm being honest. So it's just weird. So but exactly. It very well could have. It's possible. So please take everything you see and hear on this channel with a huge grain of salt. This is us telling you that we're talking out of our ass. Do your own research. Exactly. Cheers. Moving on. Breaking hazmat crews are on the scene as a mass casualty incident has been declared due to a chemical spill in Mission Valley, California. So this is the same thing. As I was closing the show, this one was happening too. So numerous emergency services, including hazmat and other agencies, are currently on the scene in Mission Valley, California, where a mass casualty incident has been declared due to a chemical spill. Officials have reported that 10 pediatric patients and 2 adult patients have been exposed to chlorine release and are being treated. So 12 kids and 1 adult have been evaluated after individuals at a YMCA pool felt unwell. All patients were treated, with 2 patients transported to the hospital after the chlorine was released. So apparently there was some kind of leak or some kind of misuse of the chlorine. It doesn't seem to be Mission Valley. Could be. I don't know where Mission Valley is. Is it in San Diego? Southern California, so I'm sure that probably. But apparently there was some exposure to some chlorine, whether it was spilled or whether it was, yeah, it's not great. Yeah, Jacob says by San Diego. What's up, Jacob? Yeah. Chlorine's pretty bad stuff, though. I wouldn't suggest it. So, yeah. Hopefully there wasn't a ton that was released, but yeah, even a little bit's going to have some kind of effect on people. So, yeah. So that wraps up the mass events for tonight. Now, yeah, hopefully it wasn't mixed with anything. Chlorine on its own is pretty bad, and then once you start mixing it with chemicals, then you could have problems for sure. Cop was in his blind spot. Oh, from the chase? Yeah. Over on Rumbles. I think I can pop out chat, can't I? So we gotta figure out a way to make this system work better for Rumble chat, because I'm tired of ignoring Rumble, but Rumble makes it easy to ignore Rumble. Not people on Rumble, but Rumble itself. Oh, that works. Let's try that. Wait, what did I do? So now we're going into war news. Like I said, not as much on the war front, but want to pick here a couple things that I think are interesting and have some kind of importance. So Lukashenko, Putin's nukes are ready for use in Belarus. That almost rhymes. Oh, all the bad news. There's unfortunately there's so much. I try not to. That's why I only do it once a week, because this would drive me nuts if it was every day. It is all bad news. All Russian nuclear weapons in Belarus are in good place and condition, Belarusian President Lukashenko told reporters, giving the signal for the next day in the country. Now, Russian nukes are ready to be used against NATO countries if needed. A long time ago, they surrendered. I already said when the delivery was ready in September, I think, or October, at the beginning of October, said Lukashenko. On March 25th, Russian President Vladimir Putin announced that Moscow would place its nuclear weapons in Belarus at Minsk's request, as the United States has long done on the territory of its allies. Yeah, we have. Moscow gave Minsk the nuclear-capable Iskander missile system and helped convert Belarusian aircraft to carry special munitions. So we'll watch Lukashenko's. This is a very short clip, about 30.
Александр Григорьевич, не можем не спросить, доставлены все заряды ядерные в Белоруссию к концу года?
Слушай, ну давно. Я же говорил уже, когда закончилась поставка, что в сентябре, по-моему, или в октябре, в начале октября последнего.
Все на своих местах.
Все на своих местах в хорошем состоянии.
Когда учения ближайшие? Отработка этих самых.
Каждый день учимся. Каждый день. Даже бывшие вагнеровцы, которые у нас остались, работают сегодня у нас в подразделениях, передают опыт.
Александр Григорьевич, не можем не спросить.
So that's, yeah, nuclear ready for the Russians. And this is why nukes will be used first if World War III kicks into full gear. No, I think probably. I think there's a pretty good indication based on how people are posturing with nuclear weapons that's a pretty good bet. Su-57 production is doubling. But we just heard Russia's collapsing. How can they double? The Russian Air Force has received a new batch of 5th-generation fighters. Russian forces have announced a new batch of 5th-generation Su-57 Felon stealth fighter jets, the manufacturer announced. Blah, blah, blah. We're not going to read all of it. Yuri Suzar, the general director to the United Aircraft Corporation, a part of Rostec, emphasized that in 2023, the production of Su-57 fighters will be doubled. In 2024, the order will be even more impressive. So we'll watch a kind of a promo video on the Russian 5th-gen fighters. Just a reminder, ours don't fly in inclement weather. Anyone not wearing 2 million sunblock is going to have a pretty bad day. Yep. That's what they make nuclear biological chemical suits for. So those are the new Russian jets. And yeah. So if you didn't think it was just jets, you'd be right. Russia sends newly built 2 S-35 Kolitska SV anti-aircraft guns to the border with Finland with the ability to shoot 70 kilometers. Moscow appears to be following through with this rhetoric against NATO forces in Finland and Norway. I know somebody from Norway. In an effort to secure its borders on that critical side. I think they will appear there in the northern military district soon, as shells of this class are needed to provide an advantage over Western artillery models in terms of firing range. The guns with a range up to 70 kilometers are equipped with modern 2A88 cannon of 152 millimeter caliber with a rate of fire more than 10 rounds per minute, as well as any modern system with automated procedures of pointing, weaponing, aiming, selecting, and navigating. So again, we'll watch a Russian puff piece about these not with that music. So they're pretty intense. What's a kill ohm meter? That's when you electrocute yourself intentionally. There's 1.6 of them in a mile, something like that. So all that's to say, Russia seems to not be fucking around, and they're getting kind of pissed off. New images show total destruction on Russian amphibious ship hit by Scalp Storm Shadow cruise missiles. So a couple days ago, I don't know if it says, this article's from today, but I think it was on the 25th or 26th. I think it was on the 25th, but I could be wrong. It was either the 25th or the 26th. Translation was wrong. He said the only thing better than Mighty Meat Media is Mighty Meat's Rumble Chat. That's very true, Seeing Red. That's absolutely accurate. So, new photos from the port of Feodosia in Crimea show the total destruction suffered by the Russian amphibious assault ship Novochcherkassk, which was hit by a Scalp Storm Shadow cruise missiles. And then we'll read the tweet. Russian propaganda says that the Novochcherkassk was only damaged. This picture shows what's left of the Russian warship. It's but a pile of smoldering metal. According to Ukrainian forces, the ship was loaded with Shahed drones. And it looks pretty fucked up. And so here's an alleged video of the bombing. So yet another Russian warship is promoted to spaceship in Crimea. By invading Ukraine, blah, 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 make Russia great again. Instead, Chinese vessel led by North Korean arms and multipolar Russia is inevitable. Russia is collapsing. But as we just saw, they're producing more military equipment than they ever have. 26. Thanks, buddy. And here's
Садись. Тихо, тихо. Ты снимаешь? Да. Охренеть. Ой, жарко сюда. Вот зря мы сюда пошли, там осколки летят. Поэтому говорю, голову. Нифига себе. Тихо, ты чё? Офигеть.
So that looked like one hell of an explosion for slight damage. Blah, blah, blah. So the next one, a Greek-owned ship was hit by a mine in the Black Sea. 3 crew members were injured. So, and this is part of a bigger problem because I think I covered it last week. The United States is obviously concerned with what's going on in the region, and they've made it very clear that they want to engage with Yemen so that they can open back up the navigational waters because they believe that it's interrupting international trade, which it is, but it's just another way to get us into another war. which is more and more bullshit. So, bulk cargo ship MV Visos hit a mine in the Black Sea on its way to Ukraine to collect grain. The ship deliberately grounded itself to avoid sinking, visible today with an oil slick. Might have hit a mine in Romanian waters. So this is kind of where it's at. There's Kherson, so there's Ukraine, Odessa. This whole area, the Black Sea, it's very contentious, and it's the same with over on the Yemen side, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, that whole region. The international shipping that goes through those areas is being interrupted, and we see companies like Maersk that are stepping away from the area because they don't want to deal with it anymore. Because it's dangerous when people are going back and forth and causing those types of issues. So, for cooler heads to prevail, but let's be absolutely honest. Again, they're probably going to continue to escalate because that's what they're looking for. Hang on, I'm getting the next one. All right, wanted to preview the next. Oh, here we go. Got to keep the wars going. Only way to keep Zelensky blackmail from getting out. Exactly. And it's the only way to make themselves more and more wealthy. Like, we obviously know that they want to keep going with things. So they've been pretty clear about that. It's one of the few things that they actually have talked about openly. So we're going to everybody's favorite short Asian man.
Little Rocket Man.
And he's getting all upset too. North Korea's Kim orders military to accelerate war preparations. Kim Jong-un has ordered his military, the munitions industry, and the nuclear weapons sector to accelerate war preparations to counter what he called unprecedented confrontational moves by the United States. And this just broke kind of yesterday. But yeah, it seems like little Rocket Man's getting kind of worried over there. So Rumble chat is lit. Yep, that's why we've been at it forever. Just a reminder, as we go into Prison Planet, 1, viewer discretion advised. We got some terrible ones tonight. And 2, federal judge orders more than 150 names linked to Jeffrey Epstein unsealed to remain sealed. And the first tweet is the best, but so that's supposed to come out on the 1st. It's supposed to come out on the 1st. So if it's not completely redacted, I will certainly cover it. But we'll go into one that's not terrible to start. Yes. Reserve Grand Champion of the Bad Haircut Contest. I think North Korea for sure. But I think they're kind of one and the same. They're gonna operate together. So, Christmas miracle. Man trapped in crash truck under Indiana Bridge survives 6 days before a fisherman finds him. Portage, Indiana, a man found himself trapped inside a crashed vehicle beneath a bridge in Portage, Indiana, following an incident on I-94. Remarkably, 2 fishermen stumbled upon the scene nearly 1 week later. On Tuesday afternoon, the fishermen were exploring the area for potential fishing spots when they came across a mangled truck beneath the bridge, partially submerged in water. The man, aged in his 20s, originally from out of state, but currently residing in South Bend, Indiana, is presumed to have been stuck in his truck since Wednesday, December 20th. The pickup was located in Salt Creek. Authorities indicate that the man frequently travels for work, While the investigation is ongoing to determine the cause, preliminary findings suggest that while driving on I-94, the man's truck veered to the right of the highway barrier, became airborne, rolled multiple times to the left, and ended up beneath a bridge. The bridge's structure concealed the final position of the truck, making it out of sight to those on the interstate above. The fisherman who discovered the trapped man, a father-in-law and son-in-law, shared their experiences at a press conference on Tuesday. So, 100%. That's also a good answer. Yeah, apparently there's only 150 names now, so it already, it's gonna keep dropping down, and then it's gonna be like 12. Like, well, I told you it was 12, but absolutely. And it's crazy that he was found 6 days later and still alive. And I mean, it's not. Indiana's not warm right now. It's chilly, potentially. Potentially. All right, we're gonna bounce around a little bit. So now we're getting into 22-year-old suspect in custody after a violent home break-in and rape in Brooklyn. Sunset Park, a suspect is in custody after a woman was raped during a violent home break-in in Brooklyn. Break-in happened 6 p.m. 59th and 9th. I wonder if these are some of those immigrants that we were talking about. Authorities say 2 suspects forced away inside of a home, and a 49-year-old woman inside was raped by one of them. Police announced Thursday the 22-year-old suspect, identified as Mohammed Izzadin, exactly. There's some foliage. He was completely disappointed that the fisherman had no fish. He was probably hungry. So that's his name. Do you think he's got legal status in this country? I'm just asking. According to NYPD crime statistics, while incidents of rape are at 10% citywide this year, this neighborhood within the 66th precinct has had incidents slightly up, 22 this year versus 20 last year. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. Yeah. I don't know. I assume he's not exactly a legal citizen. But I could be wrong. I don't know. But moving on to another even worse guy. This is probably the worst guy of the night. So if this isn't your jam, then probably a good time, and we can come back later. ABC News reporter who debunked Pizzagate faces life in prison for child rape. ABC News reporter who bragged about debunking Pizzagate faces life in prison. James Gordon Meek, who'd worked for ABC for nearly 10 years until investigation into his crimes led to his arrest, was convicted on federal charges of transporting and possession of material in July. Federal prosecutors are recommending that Meek receive a minimum of 15 years. Of course, we can't get into a lot of it because it's going to be it's going to be terrible. But they noted Meek sent and received things of infants and toddlers, as well as content depicting sadistic and masochistic abuse. Nude images from individuals, and even posed as a minor. coal miner, to get work. Yeah, this is a minefield. So, I mean, you guys can kind of read it, but he's a piece of shit. And of course, he would be one of the ones that was debunking the whole conspiracy, quote unquote. Yeah, I mean, this guy's a piece of shit. A notable trauma has been found to lead to this type of emotional numbing combined with an increased tendency towards impulsivity. He's a piece of shit, plain and simple. I wish he would get the death penalty. He won't, but I wish he would. That one's one of those ones I can't even. No, they're probably celebrating his impulsivity and his mental health issues. Oh, I thought that was boobs. That would have been bad. Sorry, I'm previewing this article because this one's also pretty bad. Okay. Moving on to the next pretty bad one. Exactly. Wood chipper? Suspected Russian serial killer admitted to beheading a prostitute after being unable to perform. Sucks for him. A man who admitted to beheading an escort after he was unable to perform during a drunken binge is suspecting, that's not me, that's their words, of being a prostitute serial killer. Varakin admitted stabbing Vlada Skitskaya to death in a Moscow high-rise after he became enraged due to suffering an intimate problem. Skitskaya was working as a prostitute moving from a smaller city in search of a better life, reportedly managed to grab his knife and slash the impotent in the face before she was dismembered. This guy seems like a great dude. According to, I don't know. So this is another one that he killed. This is the one that he couldn't perform with. Vorboida's body was found beheaded near the crime scene. Multiple British tabloids reported, citing the Russian news outlet The Spot. Under interrogation, Varakin copped to sadistic murder and also admitted to killing 40-year-old prostitute Olga Vorboyova in the hotel where they had been recently living after she refused to serve him beforehand. Varakin had been living in isolation in the hotel after being released from a mental hospital where he was sent in 2010 for stabbing 2 St. Petersburg prostitutes who caught him stealing from their purses, the outlet noted. Suspect told authorities he had been under the influence of alcohol while committing the sickening murders. During the investigative actions, the man admitted his guilt and told the investigation that he drank alcohol and used an insignificant reason for a conflict and a commission of subsequent crimes. Senior assistant to the head of the main investigative directorate of investigative committee of the Russian Federation for Moscow reportedly said forensics examinations are underway to see if Varakin is responsible for deadly slayings of other sex workers. I think he's not in Russia, is he? British tabloids. I thought maybe he's in Russia. I don't know. So basically, he couldn't get it up, and he killed her for it. All right. These are the bad ones. All right, continuing on. North Carolina woman charged with murder after allegedly starving her son. Burn in hell. Burn in hell. Officers responded Wednesday to a report of an unresponsive child at the home and could not revive the boy. It was determined that a significant time had passed since the child's death due to the state of the body, according to a statement from the town of Morrisville. The boy's body was in a state of decomposition, police said. Warrants alleged she had been starving the boy, but did not say for how long. Abuse and neglect were believed to be contributing factors in the boy's death. And that's... God, there's so many fucking ads, even on Fox anymore. What is wrong with people? What is wrong with people? I don't know. So go to this one next. This one's a little less bullshit. Florida man shoots, kills half-brother who is looking for lost cell phone on Christmas. A Florida man killed his half-brother on Christmas Day as the victim was looking for his cell phone during a visit in Illinois, prosecutors said Thursday. Kendall Yarborough, 28, a Tampa area resident, was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder after a deadly shooting that unfolded at a home in Chicago's suburb of Naperville, DuPage County State's Attorney Bob Berlin said in a statement. On Christmas Day, James Watson lost his life after his half-brother, Kendall Yarborough, allegedly shot him in the abdomen when James was looking for his cell phone. Senseless act of violence will not go unpunished. DuPage County Sheriff's deputies were called to a home just after 3:05 and found Watson had been shot. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. Investigators said Watson was downstairs in the home looking for his cell phone. He became upset. We couldn't find it and slammed a card table onto the floor. At this time, Yarborough, who was upstairs, shot down towards Watson and hit him in the stomach, authorities said. Responding deputies found a SIG 9mm P365X handgun and a shell casing, prosecutors said. Yeah, so just an asshole move. Just an asshole move. We should eliminate more people that just randomly shoot people at fucking Christmas dinner and can't. Anyways, I'm gonna get rid of that one. We'll do this one. Animalistic predator. This is a good one. Feeder of 45. Yeah. 5-time deported illegal alien gets 19 years in prison for raping a woman with special needs. He looks like the type, doesn't he? Exactly. Just make somebody call it. Well, look for the damn thing. It's not the end of the world. It will turn up. Last April, 40-year-old illegal alien German Matthews, also went by the name Hernan Mateos, a Nicaraguan, approached a woman while she walked across a gas station parking lot. Prosecutors said that Matthews was prepared for a violent assault by pulling his hoodie over his head. Matthews grabbed the woman who had special needs, pushed her down, violently grabbing while beating her in the face. Face was beaten so badly that Matthews' hands were covered in the victim's blood. He's an animalistic predator whose actions are beyond words. Worst crimes he's seen more than 2 decades in law enforcement. When an eyewitness saw what was happening, they called the police. When officers arrived on the scene, Matthews remained on top of the woman and eventually attempted to flee, but was soon arrested. At the time of the attack, Matthews claims he was possessed by a demon. Possessed by the piece of shit that you are. Last month, he pled guilty to kidnapping, felonious assault, and rape. Matthews first crossed the United States-Mexico border in June 2005 near Laredo, Texas, and was given a voluntary order to return to Mexico. Weeks after being returned to Mexico, Matthews was arrested in Miami, Florida for drunk driving and driving without a license. After a string of arrests, Matthews was arrested for battery charges in 2012. That's when he was put into local law enforcement custody and held for immigration and customs agents who deported him to Nicaragua. After returning to the U.S. again illegally, Matthews was deported by ICE agents 3 separate times in 2016 and 17. He allegedly crossed the border sometime after his last deportation in 2017 and made his way to Ohio. It's almost like when you have an open border, they just keep coming back in. Just keep coming, just keep coming. Just keep coming. This one was kind of big news. This one was breaking not very long ago, so we'll get into it. I actually don't know who this guy is. Illinois basketball star, Chicago native Terrence Shannon Jr. charged with rape. Apparently he was he's a basketball player. So Lawrence, Kansas, Illinois basketball player Terrence Shannon was suspended from all team activities after the senior All-American candidate was charged with rape in Kansas. The incident occurred back in September when Shannon Jr. was visiting Lawrence for the Illinois football game. A warrant for his arrest was issued on Wednesday by the Douglas County District Attorney. Shannon Jr. tried to turn himself in to authorities Thursday, where he posted bail and returned to Champaign per release from the school. Shannon played for Lincoln Park High School prior to transferring to Powerhouse IMG in Florida for his final year. He transferred to Illinois in 2022 after playing 3 years at Texas Tech, 21 points per game. Who cares? So these are always interesting. They're either pretty clear cut or they're just somebody that's looking for notoriety because so we'll have to see, but this one's one that's just coming out now. So I'll reserve judgment on it. If he did it, burn in hell. If he didn't, that sucks, bro. Speaking of another basketball court star, Michigan State's basketball, Jeremy Fears Jr., shot in the leg in his hometown. So he went back to Illinois, his hometown of Illinois, for the holiday. Him and a 19-year-old woman were shot in kind of a random act of violence. He's undergone surgery. Fuck you, free press. We didn't need that anyways. And he seems to be recovering. It was non-life-threatening injuries, but Spartan Hoot Star was shot and injured. So, all right. So, moving right along. Police say that they arrested a man with a machete knife brick outside the U.S. Capitol. This was yesterday. So, Tuesday afternoon, the United States Capitol Police officers arrested a man who was carrying a machete and a knife on the east front of the U.S. Capitol. This is another example of the vigilance and strong intuition of our USCP officers, said U.S. Capitol Police Tom Manger. I'm proud of you cops who worked, blah, blah, blah. On Tuesday at approximately 4:15, officer saw a man pacing back and forth and sit on a ledge at the east side of the U.S. Capitol. After witnessing the man's strange behavior, an officer approached the man. After speaking with him for a few minutes, the officer noticed a brick in the man's pocket. Odd. The officer then asked him to toss the brick to the side. After he complied, the man also pulled out a knife and placed the knife on the ledge. The officer called for backup and secured the knife. The officer then noticed the handle of a machete under the man's clothing. The officer drew his service weapon and ordered the man to put his hands up. The man complied, and officers were able to safely take the machete away from the man and make the arrest. The suspect has been identified as 23-year-old Jose Leonard Marquez of no fixed address. So again, yeah, that seems kind of weak. Apparently, he was something-ish. Seems kind of a weak one. Okay. So this is well, before we get to that, well, let me see if there was an interesting video. And then we'll get to a new case. No, Dazzer. You can't fix her. That's where I said it's kind of weak, because you should be able to. I couldn't see why you couldn't carry a knife, DC. I probably have. I don't know if I'm admitting fault or breaking any laws by saying that, but realistically, I probably have at some point. So I don't know. But this is just some of the ones, that are going around town. So there's obviously been a couple of them. And we have another one to add to the list. Middle school teacher had sex with a student 12 times. That's the teacher. Middle school teacher from Texas was apprehended last week for allegations of engaging in repeated abuse of you see the number. Len H. I had sex with my babysitter. Damn. They all need to be treated like men, equal rights and all. Yeah, I agree. We're seeing more and more of this. Of the females that are, but according to the arrest affidavit reported by the Laredo Morning Times, 27-year-old Adriana Mariel Rulon is accused of intercourse, contact, 12 occasions. Rulon was arrested on Wednesday with subsequent release on bond. The jail records specified charges against Rulon, including participation in an improper relationship between an educator and a student, indecency via sexual contact, and continuous abuse. The affidavit cited by the Morning Times reveals that the parents grew suspicious when he suddenly received money in his Cash App account. She was paying him too? Holy shit. Upon investigation, the boy's stepfather examined his phone and reportedly discovered multiple payments from a profile registered under Rulon's name. The affidavit further contends that the boy had a contact saved in his phone with Rulon's name and pink hearts next to it. The affidavit says school principal also took pictures of images that Rulon had sent the boy, which included her in a bikini, underwear showing her breasts with hickeys, plus other compromising sexual pictures. Although the United Independent School District in Texas has not disclosed Rulon's identity, they issued a statement acknowledging an incident involving a former teacher. The statement noted the teacher has been placed on leave pending further investigation. And that's the teacher. So, yeah, I'm gonna let Tazzer take this one because he can probably fix her. With all that extra credit, she had to pass him. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who this is. I'm sure somebody does. Footage of Dixie Chicks founder Laura Lynch's car released after she was tragically killed in a head-on collision. Rest in peace. The incident happened when she was driving from El Paso to Del City. According to investigators, car driving on the other side of the road crossed the dotted line to pass the slower car. The passing car crossed into Lynch's lane, hitting her head-on. The other driver survived with no life-threatening injuries. Be safe. I've heard of the Dixie Chicks. I don't know what this is. So, viewer discretion. Holy shit. And I'll keep paying. That was fucking bad. Wow. Yeah. Wow. I have no idea. Oh, of course. I'm probably going to hell for this, but I think this is funny. By going to hell, I mean probably YouTube jail. But I think this is funny. No context, just...
You don't care about the girls. Just hush. You don't care about the girls. Hello, everybody. Justin. American Airlines. It's over. Start. Here we go. Justin. Here. I'm not kidding. You don't care about the girls? So I want to tell you about Shelby and Dolly. Shelby and Dolly. Shelby and Dolly. Remember I'm going to do it for you. Shelby and Dolly.
The girls are their dogs.
Remember them.
Oh, okay.
Remember them.
Gotcha. Okay.
I am. I'm just trying to get home to the girls. Really, look, I have much to say for dogs.
I just thought that was funny. Anyways, they were arguing about something. It's okay to be gay, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, moving on. Gaston Glock, inventor of the namesake gun, dead at 94. Yes, they are gay people. Like those homosexuals that were really nice. These were the opposite of really nice homosexuals. Yeah, these are drama queen gays. Glock developed the firearm in the 1980s when the Austrian military was looking for an innovative new weapon. I am a Glock fanboy. I fucking love my Glock. Absolutely love my Glock. This is some rough news. Honest. Gaston Glock, the man responsible for developing the namesake weapon, died on Wednesday at the age of 94. Glock developed the famous handgun in the 1980s when the Austrian military was looking for a new innovative weapon. Until then, the Glock company had made military knives and consumer goods, including curtain rods. Glock assembled a team of firearm experts that came up with Glock 17, a lightweight semi-automatic gun largely made of plastic. The revolutionary design with a frame made of high-strength nylon-based polymer and only the slide made of metal beat several other companies' blueprints and secured his upstart outfit the contract. The easily assembled weapon became a global hit, with the Austrian winning loyal followings among police and militaries across the world. We carried Glocks. I'm not gonna go through the whole thing. It sucks. It's unfortunate because hella innovative. He will be missed. I mean, he didn't have anything to do with the company for some time, but so this is what I carry every day. Beautiful. That's not mine because I wouldn't put my fucking serial number out there, but polymer bottom or lower, the uppers metal. Hella reliable guns. I love mine. Obviously trust my life with it. And highly encourage anybody looking for a firearm to purchase a Glock. So rest in peace, sir, and thank you for your wonderful weapon. Well, nobody's perfect. Probably 60 years ago. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I like my Gen 4. I don't know. It's okay to me. So I'm trying to lighten the mood to end the show. So here is, I think this is a video. Hang on. Oh yeah. I don't know. This is technically lightening the mood, but it's kind of funny. So for the small price of $40 million, you too can have your own end of the world bunker. This is an actual advertisement out for.
We can never predict or control what will happen in the world, but our first, most powerful instinct is always the same: to protect the ones we love. To provide a sanctuary where they can be safe and secure, out of danger and out of sight. But with all the comforts of home and surrounded by their most precious possessions. Oppidum creates underground living spaces that are highly secure and completely discreet, yet beautifully appointed and entirely bespoke. With everything you need to relax and unwind, and keep your mind and body in peak condition. We work with you wherever you are in the world to enhance and protect your residence. Whatever is happening in the world outside, you can rest easy and live fully in times of tranquility and in times of unrest. Entertain friends and enjoy private time with your family, or just savor having a safe place to reflect. Your private gallery keeps your collections in perfect condition and is built to the highest security standards. The hidden technology that sustains your life underground is as carefully considered, meticulously engineered, and beautifully crafted as every other aspect of your oppidum. Your oppidum has 2 independent air filtration systems. 2 backup power generators provide constant, off-the-grid power in case of a blackout. All systems operate completely autonomously. Emergency batteries, which are kept fully charged at all times, are capable of powering the property independently. All oppidum systems are carefully integrated into the overall design so that you'll never know it's there. An invisible shield that operates with the same silent dependability as the movement in a Swiss watch. Unseen and untouched. To protect the people we love and the objects we cherish is the most powerful human instinct. Your oppidum is the only luxurious answer to this call. Designed and constructed to withstand ballistic, environmental, and civil threats. This is security without sacrifice, comfort without compromise. Oppidum.
Legit fucking advertisement for an end of the world bunker. Like, must be nice. $40 million. $40 million for the price of admission. So I got 2 more things to try and lighten the mood before I take off. Absolutely. 100% dystopian. I thought this guy was kind of funny.
Yeah, how can I help you? Hello? Yeah, how
can I help you? It's a Chinese restaurant. Yeah, how can I help you? Yeah. What? Yeah. What can I order? How can I help you? What do you mean? It's Chinese restaurant. How can I help you, baby? You want to order or no? What you mean? What's up? It's Chinese restaurant. I don't call you. You call me. No, I don't call you. No, I don't call you.
Fucking great. For no reason, obviously. I mean, that's not funny at all, but it's funny. They did that on Stern. Huh. And then the last thing for tonight's show, Words of Wisdom by Elon Musk. I played enough video games to know this guy is selling rare items that I need later on my journey. So true. This is an actual Elon Musk tweet. An actual tweet. And he is. And he is. He's probably got great shit that you definitely need later in life. So. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for News Roundup this week. It was on the slower side, to be honest. For sure. News-wise this week. But a lot of that has to do with Christmas and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And a lot less people doing a lot less things. But we got through another one. Tried to lighten it up at the end there because I know it's shit. And it's always shit. And it just seems to pile on more and more shit. So I think that's going to be it for me for now. Another Starlink launch tonight and in 15 minutes. So I hope to see you there. Until then, I hope everybody has a wonderful evening, and I will catch everyone very, very soon. Have a good night, Joe.